Night presses down like a held breath. In this vast stillness, a lone baboon emerges from shadow, each step precise, deliberate. Its eyes flicker toward a hollow in the earth, a hyena den, half hidden and silent, the clan curled in a deep, collective slumber. But something calls the baboon forward. A warm scent rides low across the soil, thin but insistent. It's the smell of something small, something alive, and alone. The baboon pauses often, scanning the dark, reading silence like a map. Every movement is ruled by instinct honed through survival, but desire nudges caution aside. One foot forward, then another. It advances, breath shallow, body low. Attention builds not from sound, but from the lack of it. The baboon's eyes fix on the shape of the den, the stillness within it, and measure what could be gained against what could be lost. For in the wild, opportunity is always framed by peril. And sometimes what draws you closer is not hunger, but something more dangerous. Curiosity. And in the dark, curiosity smells like weakness. The baboon presses closer. The baboon pauses at the lip of the den, breath trembling as it peers into the darkness carved beneath the earth. The hyenas lie scattered in tangled sleep, their chests rising in slow, heavy rhythm. Muscles twitch beneath spotted fur, jaws slack yet capable of crushing bone in an instant. But none stir. Not yet. The baboon studies every angle, every shadow, reading danger as if it were written in the dust. A silence this deep is never innocent, yet the den stands open, unguarded, exposed, almost inviting. The scent grows stronger here, warm and fragile, slipping through the night like a whispered secret. It draws the baboon past the point where instinct usually stops it. Time feels suspended, stretched thin between two breaths. One step becomes three, then five, its hands brushing the ground with careful poise. The world seems to tighten around this single moment, as if the night itself is holding still to see what choice will be made. The baboon hesitates once more, eyes drifting to the sleeping clan, then forward again toward what waits inside. Risk settles heavily on its back, but still it moves. In the hollow dark of the den, the baboon sees its chance, a newborn hyena, soft and blinking, tucked in a nest of warm dirt. Its breath is small, unaware. The baboon's hands, so used to foraging and climbing, now cradle a life not its own. For a moment, it hesitates, as if even it understands the boundary it is crossing. Then a cry. Not loud, but sharp, slicing the silence like a crack in glass. The infant's call betrays the moment. One by one, hyenas stir. Ears twitch, eyes open. Tension folds into the space like a rising tide. The baboon retreats a step, clutching the cub to its chest, melting behind the brittle blades of grass. But shadows shift. Suspicion spreads through the clan like fire. Their senses recalibrate the night, and something is off. A foreign scent, a missing warmth. The baboon stays low, heartbeat loud in its skull, body pressed to the earth. But already, the air is changing. The den is no longer a place of sleep, it is waking, and the trespass has been named. The moment breaks. A single hyena rises, then another. Muscles ripple beneath patchy fur, and soft grunts turn into sharp barks. The clan stirs as one, their collective unease hardening into purpose. The baboon knows the rhythm hesitation means death. In a burst, it breaks cover, legs pounding, the infant still clutched close. Grass blurs, stones kick loose. Behind it, the hyenas give chase, their movements suddenly unified, like a net tightening around prey. One flank pushes left, another arcs right, driving the baboon toward the open, toward exposure. But the baboon is built for chaos. It twists, veers, leaps, each motion fueled by a mix of desperation and instinct. The cub slips, tumbles from its grasp. A heartbeat passes, but the baboon doesn't stop. The hyena's focus fractures. Some pivot toward the fallen cub. Others stay locked on the intruder. Now it's no longer just about territory. It's about retribution. The savanna echoes with the drumming of paws and the frantic rustle of pursuit. The night, once silent, now pulses with primal consequence. The chase has only begun. The cub lies forgotten on the earth, its cry fading into the thundering pursuit. The baboon runs with a fire born of fear, but the hyenas close in with the certainty of hunters on their own soil. Then the moment snaps, the first strike lands. A shoulder slams into the baboon's flank. Teeth graze skin. The baboon spins, not to flee, but to fight. Its face contorts, fangs bared, arms wide. It roars, not with voice, but with motion, a sweeping arc that sends the nearest hyena stumbling back. Another lunges. The baboon ducks, twists, grabs a rock, and hurls. Contact, a yelp, but there are too many. They surround it, darting in and out like blades. Still, the baboon refuses to fold. It leaps sideways, rakes a claw across a muzzle, feints left and vaults right. Dirt kicks high. Snarls clash with hoarse breaths. This is not a clean kill. It is a war of instinct, pack against rebel. The baboon fights like a cornered storm, every movement a refusal. It knows there's no winning, but it will not fall gently. Defiance is its armor. The circle constricts. Every lunge the baboon makes is answered by amber eyes and snapping jaws. The hyenas tighten formation, not by command but by instinct. Honed through generations, they are built to corner, to smother resistance with weight and numbers. The baboon scans for escape, but every path is sealed by muscle and teeth. Still, it moves not with panic, but with precision. A burst to the left forces two hyenas to recoil. It spins, aiming for the narrowest gap, but another body fills it before momentum can carry it through. Dust hangs in the air like smoke, mixing with the musk of adrenaline and fear. Each breath is now measured in seconds, bought through violence. The baboon's limbs are cut from stone and tension, honed by a lifetime on the edge of danger. It pivots again, shoulder slams one attacker, then drops low and drives a fist into the soft underbelly of another. Grunts rise like thunder, but the circle is closing. What once felt like a battlefield now feels like a trap tightening with every breath. The air gets heavier. The night gets smaller. Each motion now bleeds into the next. No pause, no breath, untouched by threat. The baboon moves with violent grace, a creature sculpted by pressure and panic. It dodges another lunge, counters with a rake across the snout, then wheels away before jaws can clamp down. But its body begins to falter. One misstep, one moment late, a set of teeth finds skin not deep, but enough. Pain arcs through its flank. The baboon roars and retaliates, twisting free with a raw snap of muscle. But momentum is slipping. Its breaths are louder now, ragged, gasping through clenched teeth. The hyenas sense it, the shift from challenge to inevitability. They grow bolder, snapping closer, cutting angles. The baboon throws its weight into a final surge, flinging itself through a narrow gap, but claws drag across its leg, anchoring it for just a heartbeat too long. The fight is no longer about victory. It's about legacy, about marking the world with one last act of defiance. Still, the baboon stands, bloodless but battered, the wild written in every wound. But even a storm runs out of sky. The baboon stumbles, then rises again, shaking, wheezing, eyes wild with fire that refuses to dim. Around it, the hyenas circle tighter, sensing the collapse before it comes. One clamps down on its arm, another tears across its back. But from the heart of pain, something primal awakens. A final burst, a death-wrought lunge. The baboon drives forward, sinking its teeth into a shoulder, raking claws with every ounce of what remains. A hyena howls and retreats. The others flinch, surprised by the fury still left in a dying form. But it's not enough. The next wave crashes over the baboon, dragging it down into dirt and dusk. Limbs thrash, strikes land then slow. Breath shortens. The night stills again, the violence spent. Around the torn earth, silence returns, cold and complete. Above, the moon hangs wide-eyed and indifferent, silver light washing over bloodless wounds and trampled ground. There is no witness but the stars. No justice, no judgment. Just the quiet rule of the wild. What you reach for may be the thing that ends you. And yet, for a moment, the baboon had reached. That mattered. Dawn does not break, it exhales. A soft gold seeps through the treetops, brushing shadows into shape. In the canopy above, Roosting baboons stir, limbs unfurling from tangled sleep. The trees that held them safe through the long night now release them, one by one. A juvenile stretches, blinking into the morning haze. Another swings down, landing with a practiced thud onto soft earth. Around them, the troop stirs like breath returning to a body. There is no mourning for the lost. In nature, absence is common and rarely named. What matters is motion. Mothers cradle infants against their fur, instinctively soothing. Young ones tumble into games, chasing each other around trunks. Others remain still, eyes closed, faces toward the warming light, letting the steam of night rise from their coats. In this calm, contact is a balm. Fingers brush backs, groom through fur, communicate what words cannot. The troop doesn't rush. It expands like a tide, deliberate, unspoken. From above, nothing looks broken. But within the soft order lies a quiet knowing. Every return to morning is earned, not owed. The troop unfolds across the terrain like a living wave. Yearlings dart between branches, rehearsing the climbs that will one day save them. On the ground, juveniles chase and wrestle. Their game's a language of muscle and trust. No blood is drawn, but hierarchy is etched in each tumble, each feint. Elders watch, intervening only when heat rises too fast. A matriarch steps between two rising tempers, posture alone enough to break the tension. Order, here, is not shouted, it's remembered. Mothers tend to the smallest, their touch exact, their vigilance constant. Every infant is held by many hands, passed like a story across generations. Others kneel to the soil, prying up hidden treasures. Roots, pods, fallen fruit, beetles tucked beneath bark. Cheek pouches swell as foragers gather. The ground, though dry, is generous to those who know how to read it. Scars fade in the light, not because they're healed, but because survival moves forward. And so does the troop, calm, cohesive, linked by touch, routine, and the rhythm of knowing that together is stronger than alone. Among the baboons, hierarchy isn't shouted, it breathes. Female kin form the core. Mothers, daughters, aunts who remain for life, anchoring the group through routine and memory. Order flows not from dominance alone, but from proximity, presence, and pattern. Young ones test each other in play that mimics power lunges, chases, dramatic collapses. But when energy edges toward aggression, a high-ranking female steps in, cutting tension with nothing more than a stance. Her intervention is brief, but final. Adult males, larger and more solitary, patrol the troop's edges. They don't rule, but they watch. Their role is distance, not intimacy, sentinels that rid the horizon for movement, posture, threat. They speak in low grunts, short barks, and body spacing, mapping invisible lines that keep the group stitched together. Every call has meaning. A grunt means presence. A bark means danger. A far-reaching call means regroup. When one sentinel drops from a boulder or branch, another rises, no signal, no command, just rhythm. The landscape is read in breaths and glances. Cohesion is never loud, but always clear. Around the baboons, others move not as intruders, but as partners in a quiet pact. Hornbills and starlings flit between branches, their eyes sharp for insects stirred by foraging hands. Guinea fowl trail the troop like patient sweepers, collecting seeds and scraps left behind. The cooperation is silent, but effective. Baboons turn soil, scatter pods, expose grubs. Birds harvest the wake. In return, the birds offer their own service. Alarm. A sudden flutter. A hush in their song. The angle of their retreat all speak of things unseen. Baboons read these signs like signals in the air. When the birds freeze, so does the troop. When they flee, baboons pause, reassemble, shift direction. Under fruiting trees, the rhythm deepens. Baboons climb and feed, dropping bits in their haste. Guinea fowl clean the base. Nothing is wasted. Even spilled food finds purpose. Harmony here is not affection, it's awareness. Each species holds its lane, its role, its timing. Together, they form a sensory web where sound, scent, and stillness travel faster than threat. In this choreography of survival, Attention is the currency, and every glance matters. Yet even with eyes on every shadow, danger isn't always distant. Sometimes, it lives inside the troop. A rivalry, a misunderstood glance, a scarce patch of fruit, small sparks can erupt into sudden fire. When baboons fight, it's thunder without warning. Deep barks, shrill screams, fists pounding earth. Most clashes are posturing, ritual storms meant to measure fear, not draw blood. But when challenge meets pride and neither yields, violence speaks in flesh. Adult males, armed with canines nearly as long as a lion's, become forces of chaos. Teeth flash, bodies collide, dust swells around them like smoke. And though the battle is short, the echoes remain scars drawn across muscle. Status recalibrated in silence. The entire troop watches, not out of curiosity, but necessity. In every fight lies a question of order. Who leads? Who submits? Who is next to rise or fall? And when the dust settles, the answers are carved not in sound, but in space. Who gives way? Who is groomed? Who sits closest to the center? Power is not just claimed, it is witnessed, measured, and remembered. After the clash, a hush settles like ash. The troop doesn't fracture, it exhales. Grooming resumes, slow and deliberate, fingers tracing through fur, not just to clean, but to mend. A low grunt shared between former rivals is not apology, but acknowledgement. The order holds. Shade becomes common ground again. Distance softens. The heat of rage fades into the comfort of routine. Baboons are creatures of tension, yes, but also of repair. A wound may sting, but it is tended. A snarl may echo, but it fades beneath touch. In these gestures lies their greatest strength. Not just survival, but resilience. They live with conflict, but don't let it rot. Within the tribe, every member carries memory of alliances, betrayals, forgiveness, and this memory shapes the future. Young ones observe closely, learning what postures mean protection, what expressions carry warning. Lessons are passed not by words, but by presence. The troop, scarred and bonded, moves forward again, unified not by fear, but by understanding. Here, power is not absolute, it's shared, and the rhythm of peace is not quiet, it's chosen. As the sun climbs higher, light coats the savanna in gold, softening scars and warming old bones. Baboons stretch, forage, groom a rhythm uninterrupted, but beneath this calm, the lessons of the night remain. Every movement holds memory. The cost of ambition, the price of trespass, the silence after conflict. Nothing is forgotten in a troop held together by time and touch. Elders carry the history in posture. Young ones learn it in glances and pauses. Even as they feast or play, the wild never fully releases its grip. There is always a lookout, always a shadow at the edge of sight. For in this world, survival is not just a matter of strength or speed, but of attention to others, to patterns, to what the wind might carry. The baboon who reached into danger is gone, but the story of that reach lingers in the way the troop tightens at dusk, the way a mother pulls her infant closer, the way one male lingers longer at the perimeter. In the wild, nothing ends, it echoes.